This is a Nailsin News Bulletin.
14-year-old boy ate lunch in teacher's classroom because he had issues fitting in. Well, now the teacher's accused of drawing the curtains and raping him. Oh, well, here we go. Oh. Well. A Florida teacher, yes, is facing a litany of charges after she allegedly raped a middle school student in her classroom. The Orange County Sheriff's Office arrested Sarah Jacques, 32, on multiple counts of lewd and lascivious battery and lewd or lascivious molestation, as well as a single count of statutory rape by an authority figure. The alleged victim, now 16, spoke with deputies from the Orange County Sheriff's Office on June 10th and alleged that Jacques had sexually abused him in 2023 when the then 14-year-old attended Corner Lake Middle School. Jacques and the alleged victim began having lunch together in her classroom at the start of the 2022-23 school year because he had issues fitting in and associating with the right crowd. The alleged victim told investigators that he and Jacques grew closer during these lunches, but alleged that she began to isolate him from other students over time. He also said that the two began to express physical affection for each other, but alleged that what started off as chaste hugs and kisses on the cheek, oh, you mean the face, soon grew into what the affidavit alleges was molestation. According to the affidavit, Jacques and the alleged victim would text outside of school hours. But one time at 1 a.m., the boy's mother caught them exchanging messages and instructed both to stop texting, saying it was abnormal. The educator stopped texting, but also allegedly created a fake Instagram account where she would dirty talk with the alleged victim. The affidavit claims, further alleging that she wrote, "I just had sex with my husband, and it wasn't the best, but I imagined it was you." A week before spring break in 2023, the alleged victim told deputies that Jacques covered the windows of her classroom with active assailant curtains. Oh, you mean to warn them that there might be a shooter or something? That's the dumbest thing you can use to hide what you're doing. Anyway, laid a pillow in the corner and had sexual intercourse with him. Jacques allegedly did not provide the boy with protection. Whoops. Jacques allegedly sexually abused the boy each day before spring break. But after the break commenced, Jacques' husband, with whom she shares a son, oh, good God, learned about his wife's alleged behavior. Subsequently, the husband posed as Jacques and contacted the teen on Jacques' secret social account. Jacques called the alleged victim from an unknown number and told the alleged victim her husband found out about their relationship and for the alleged victim to lay low because her husband was angry. Oh, you don't say. The alleged victim told deputies that in the remaining weeks of the school year, Jacques did not return to school. On June 16th, the alleged victim allegedly called Jacques on the phone in the presence of law enforcement. Okay. Jacques has not yet entered a plea, and the public defender representing her did not respond to a request for comment. She was booked into custody on June 23rd and made her first court appearance the following day. On June 25th, Jacques was released from the Orange County Detention Facility after posting bail. The principal at Corner Lake Middle School reached out to students' families after Jackass arrests and said, "There is an ongoing investigation by law enforcement and the district's Office of Professional Standards, and that this person will not be returning to campus pending the outcome of the investigation." Yeah, I guess not. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual abuse, text STRENGTH, that's STRENGTH, to the crisis text line at 741-741 to be connected to a certified crisis counselor. Unless they too start to isolate you and all that. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. That's HOPE. Oh, the numbers are 4673. Or go to RAIN with 2 N's .org. There you go. Well, look, she had multiple. Well, no, she was wrong all from the beginning. Look, based on the bug shot alone, throw the book at her.
Just your need to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. There was some news.
Yeah, I forgot about the ending theme song on that news clip. Yeah, but it was a classic clip because I didn't want to sit around and wait for 6 o'clock to roll around. So I thought, hey, that one's almost 8 minutes long. That'll fill out the time. Yeah. Whatever. Here I am for, sex, drugs, murder, and wretched hoes. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, there's another perverted school teacher in the mix somewhere. We'll get to it. But, oh, my goodness, I was exhausted due to lack of sleep, and I almost thought, hey, I need to cut out early on Pop Culture Breakdown. But I couldn't. I had to stay for the review of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, all because of this prop that Gary Ambrosia gave me. My one chance to make use of it for something, I don't know. And oh boy, what was I going to do? Cut out? No, I couldn't do that. Shortly afterward, I collapsed into bed and took a nap. Yeah, Yeah. Then I got up, worked on another episode of Sun King, which will be featured on this Saturday's Mr Nailsin Show at radiomisfits.com or wherever you get your podcasts. So, that's something. That's something. Now it just occurred to me that, the audio may not be working because sometimes it just does it. Oh, it is. There we go. I checked it. Good. Thank God. So, all right, there we are. We're all in our places with sunshiny faces, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Well, yeah, I know you don't really have a bushy tail. Me neither. But sunshiny faces, perhaps. Not yet. It's still dark out where I'm at. But, the sun's bound to rise sooner or later. What if it doesn't? Well, I guess that'll be news too. But in the meantime, let's get to those news stories you may not have heard about. The politics, stuff like that. You heard all that crap. But what about the stories you don't hear? Well, that's what I'm here for. You know the type. We all know the type. That's right. But tonight will be the special of, crazy bitches, it's a specialty and all that. We'll get to the crazy men later, some other time. There's a couple of them, but I just had the women outnumbered them this time around in the batch of stories. So it happens sometimes. Woman used air mattress to bury ex in backyard tomb after killing him with a frying pan. Well, yeah. That's her. That's the victim. Trista Ann Spicer. Yeah. A 46, really? Whew. Don't do meth, kids. A 46-year-old woman in California may spend the rest of her life behind bars for killing her ex-boyfriend, smashing him in the head with a frying pan, and slitting his throat before burying his remains in a makeshift tomb in her backyard. A jury in San Bernardino County found Trista Ann Spicer guilty on one count of second-degree murder with a sentencing enhancement for using a deadly weapon, the frying pan, in the slaying of 42-year-old Eric Mercado. Or is it Mercado? I don't know. Spicer argued she was acting in self-defense when she killed Mercado. Potato. I don't know. Who had been missing since 2014. Wow. Until his body was discovered buried on Spicer's property in doo-doo-doo-doo. Wow, she got away with it for quite a while, Yeah. Anyway, detectives with the San Bernardino Police Department's homicide unit conducted a follow-up interview. Check in, see how you doing. Do you still say you're innocent and don't know anything? That kind of stuff. Anyway, they caught up with Spicer on the afternoon of August 23rd, after receiving a tip about possible human remains being hidden in her yard. Didn't do that good of a job of burying it. What, I guess, dogs or whatever found it. Sure took them a while, though. Wow, that's 8 years. Anyway, after corroborating the information provided by the tipster, investigators were able to obtain a search warrant for property in the 1400 block of East Davidson Street. The tipster, who was later identified as Waylon Gentry, Spencer's boyfriend. So this is another boyfriend, right? Because this is Mercado, whatever. Okay, so the current boyfriend said, hey, something stinks in the backyard. So the tipster was Waylon Gentry, Spencer's boyfriend from doo-doo-doo-doo, who claimed she had moved Mercedo's body from its original location beneath some concrete steps after learning that her family planned on selling the home. Whoopsie. Gentry previously testified that Spicer was talking about moving from California to Illinois, where she had family. But she had one important thing to take care of before she could leave, and asked Gentry to help. The task, according to Gentry, was to help Spicer get rid of her boyfriend. Oh, I didn't know what she meant, Gentry said. She said he was buried under the stairs. I did not believe her. Gentry reportedly said he decided to go to the police after speaking with his mother. Yeah, who told him to do the right thing. That's what moms are for, isn't it? She probably slapped him upside the head. Of course you tell him, stupid. Okay. When police searched the home, they found a hidden storage compartment that was about 8 feet wide, 6 feet high, and 3 feet deep. Rosito's body was reportedly found in the compartment wrapped inside a sliced air mattress. Yeah, that makes sense. The medical examiner who performed the autopsy on Mercedo told police that his nose and eye socket appeared to have been obliterated and would have left him dead within seconds. That's probably how he died, getting bashed in the head, you know. During the service of the search warrant, investigators observed what appeared to be a makeshift tomb on the property. Investigators entered the makeshift tomb and located human remains inside. Homicide investigators identified pertinent information and learned that Trista Spicer and the decedent, Eric Mercedo Mercado, lived at the residence together. Investigators learned that Mercedo Mercado had been reported missing by his family in 2014 and had not been seen since. Well, during the trial, Spicer testified that she met Mercedo in 2014, claiming that he soon convinced her to start using methamphetamine. See, I called it. Yeah, that explains, despite her age. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it's all his fault, though, huh? So he gets a frying pan to the face. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Now I'm all lost. Oh, there we are. Methamphetamine again after 6 years of being clean. Yeah, so it's all his fault that she got back on the stuff that she had done previously. Was she really clean? The physical and emotional abuse began shortly afterward. However, she said Mercedo was prone to fits of violence, and she was afraid to report the abuse. She reportedly said that in October 2014, Mercedo became upset over the dinner she prepared and threw it at her. At the time, she was sitting naked on the couch because he had ordered her to do so. She reportedly said Mercedo stabbed her in the neck before ordering her to get him coffee in the kitchen. While there, she said she grabbed a frying pan and used it to strike Mercedo in the head, swinging the cooking utensil with both hands before cutting his throat. To make sure, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Spicer is currently scheduled to appear in court for her sentencing. Yeah, she's facing 16 years to life in a state correctional facility. So, well, that's her story, I guess they didn't really go for it. Yeah. Probably a drugged in and a fight broke out. But then you slit his throat, too. So, Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know how you're going to get out of it. Obviously, they didn't go for it. And besides, he's dead. He can't say, no, that's not what happened. Let me tell you what the deal was. And, well, that's not an option. Unless, you get psychics or something like that. And come on. Are you going to believe that? Most people don't until they do. And then it's like, oh, well, counsel is going to cross-examine the witness that only they can see and hear. Yeah, that's not going to fly. So pretty much she's going to have to prove that the guy was, that dangerous, that brutal, and that, oh, my God, I had to bash his head in and then slit his throat. Otherwise, he was going to kill me. course, I don't know. The coroner said his eye was crushed and his face was obliterated. How was he going to kill her after that? But, in the heat of the moment, I suppose, yeah. She, she really had to bust a move for murder. Well, anyway, now I guess she's facing 16 years to this time get clean for good from her meth. Too bad it sucked the life out of her already because, 46 and you're already shriveling up like a prune. Well, what are you going to do? Not much. You're just going to continue to shrivel up like a prune. That's what happens. And it's kind of fitting, because I don't really believe her take that she's the helpless victim in this one. I really don't, I was sitting there naked. Plus, she did say he stabbed her in the neck. So there is that. Does she have the scar on the neck where he plunged a knife in it? Probably was mad at her because she was too lazy to get dressed and he was all pissed. Or maybe he was a piece of shit. But this is not how you solve that, Well, whatever. I wasted too much time on that. Oh, my goodness. There's other murders to look at. Relationships gone wrong and all that good stuff. So, let's see. Woman forgot her date rape drug at home, so she used fentanyl instead and killed a man. Yeah. This picture is really, it's just dishonest. You're seeing the real her there, A woman in Washington State looking for a wealthy man to seduce and rob found one at a casino hotel and tried to do just that, but wound up killing him after she forgot her date rape drugs. Man, don't you hate that? At home and used fentanyl instead. So she always has plenty of fentanyl, but not, I guess, Rohypnol or whatever, I don't know. So she says, I panicked and did something dumb. Yeah, the poor dear. Said Raylan Binsey, 34, texted a friend on the morning of October 4th after allegedly murdering the 38-year-old victim, according to court documents. I need out of here, please, Binsey allegedly said. I could go away for a very long time. Yes. Binsey and the victim, identified only as Arslan. Almost like Aslan, the lion from the Witch and the Wardrobe, all that. Anyway, Arslan, we're at the Ilani Casino Hotel on the Cowlitz Reservation in Ridgeville. That's almost like Cowlick, in Ridgeville, when the fatal drugging occurred. According to a probable cause affidavit, Arslan allegedly offered to give her his casino winnings of $1,200 if she went up to a hotel room and had sex with him. Why not just have the sex, I guess he was really not all that, I don't know. You're pretty high class if he's willing to pay you $1,200. Unless it was like going to be all weird and he had a contraption or something. I don't know. Anyway, the man was found on the afternoon of October 5th in a room on the 10th floor. Yep. Police were called and investigators looked at surveillance footage to see who came and went from the room. Good thinking. Yeah. Binsey was allegedly caught on camera entering with Arslan while wearing leopard print clothing. Well, she was in the room for about an hour before it took an hour. Anyway, before cameras caught her leaving by herself. About 2 hours later, Binsey, it sounds too much like Benji, the little dog, allegedly went back to the room with another man. Ew. And was inside for roughly 7 minutes. Uh-oh, yeah, they go, whoa, whoopsie. Before they left, cops say they made contact with both Binsey and the man during the investigation and questioned him about what happened. Binzi allegedly denied having anything to do with Arslan's death, telling detectives, "No, no, no. He was fucking snoring. That's weird. That doesn't make sense." The man she was caught on video with, however, admitted to being told by Binzi that she drugged Arslan and that he probably OD'd and he's probably going to die. Yeah, that's some boyfriend you got there, Binzi. He said, "Oh, hey, the bitch did it. It wasn't me." A trio of individuals spoke to police during the investigation and said Binzi was acting weird after being interviewed by cops. The way she was reacting, "I think she did something to cause this man to lose his life," one of them said. That's a good guess, A woman who recently met Binzi told cops she had voiced interest in wanting to meet up with wealthy men to seduce and rob them. A man who knows her said she usually uses gamma hydroxybutyric acid, aka GHB, and other substances. Yeah, okay, as date rape drugs on men. But for this victim, she told the man that she forgot to bring them with her. He couldn't go back to the house at that point, Damn it. So she allegedly used fentanyl instead. Binzi was arrested on October 31st, appropriate, and charged with first-degree murder, controlled substances homicide, placing poison in a drink, first-degree robbery, and second-degree theft. Her bail was set at $10 million. And she was still behind bars, with the trial date later and all that crap. Well, there you go. Boy, all she wanted to do was, rob a rich guy. I mean, maybe, she said, "Well, how much for a hand job?" And then that would have been a lot easier and not the full-on sex. So maybe she wouldn't have gotten the $1,200, but you would have gotten something. That's probably the dealio. But instead, she's like, "Oh crap, I don't have my date rape drugs, but of course I always have fentanyl laying around, so I'll just try that instead." I mean, come on, I'm not a pharmacist or a chemist or anything like that. I thought it would work. It didn't. At least, not the way it was supposed to. So it's just her defense in this case would be, oopsie. She didn't mean it. Come on. I mean, all right, you shouldn't steal. That's true. But it's what she does. That's how she makes her living. Oh, geez. Yeah. Now, I'm sure some people say, "Hey, he should have known better. There he is, hanging out at the casino, looking for sex." Well, yes. Yes. That's what he was doing. And, but again, geez. "Well, I didn't have my drugs with me. That's my excuse." Yeah. Yeah. But hey, hasn't she been reading the news? That fentanyl is dangerous. No. Oh, well. Let's go to school next. Concerned neighbors noticed young male going in and out of middle school teacher's house. Now she's accused of sex assault. Uh-oh. Again. Oof. Oof. An Illinois middle school teacher has been charged with 3 felonies after she was accused in court of sexually assaulting an underage former student. Jessica Bergman A 34-year-old teacher at Washington Middle School in Aurora, Illinois, was charged with felony criminal sexual assault and 2 felony counts for aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Authorities said in their statement that investigators began receiving information in October about the teacher's potentially inappropriate sexual relationship with the child. What would be the appropriate relationship, you know? Yeah. Well, I guess in sex ed, well, this is what it looks like. Anyway, DuPage County authorities alleged that Bergman met the boy when he was a student at Washington Middle School. Sometime after the student graduated, the middle school teacher and her former student began communicating via text messages and phone calls. The alleged victim was a high school sophomore when the alleged sexual assault began. So she waited a little while, It is alleged that at some point in time, the relationship began between the two turned sexual, the statement said. It is further alleged that the relationship progressed further and that the victim would frequently go to Bergman's home, occasionally staying overnight, where the two would engage in sexual intercourse. Citing court documents, the Daily Herald reported that neighbors became concerned after noticing the boy at Bergman's home and began contacting the police. Abner! She's got a boy in her house. Oh, Edna, mind your own business. Oh, ooh. DuPage authorities said Bergman was taken into custody without incident. She was released from custody after her initial court appearance and was ordered to have no contact with anyone under the age of 18 years old. The profound abuse of trust and authority allegedly displayed by Ms. Bergman is extremely disturbing and will be met with the full force of the law, DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin said in the statement. Teachers are entrusted with our students' well-being. They are given the awesome responsibility to guide and protect our students, not to harm or exploit them. A teacher who takes advantage of a student, as alleged in this case, is not only breaking the law, but they are also breaking the trust placed in them by the community, the school, and the victim's family. Wheaton Chief of Police P.J. Yowker said in the statement that cases involving alleged abuse by a teacher strike at the core of community trust, adding, this behavior is unacceptable. Well, there you have it. If you or someone you know has been a victim of sexual abuse, text STRENGTH to the crisis text line at 741-741 to be connected to a certified crisis counselor. So there you go. See, you're all set up. Yeah, they're going to have to throw the book at her, aren't they? But of course, all suspects are to be considered innocent until proven guilty. But, I don't know. She probably is, I mean, why was the guy going to her house, long after he's no longer a student? Of course, this business of students going to teachers' homes and all that. Why is that ever a thing, well, everybody figured, hey, it's fine. Well, that's your school teachers for you. What about porn stars? Well, let's find out. Yes, they have problems too. Oh my goodness. Sometimes that glamorous life just doesn't turn out the way they'd hoped, And it can be sad and often, well, not oftentimes, but sometimes even violent. Oh, it's terrible. Because, yeah, some of them, they want love too. And yet, it's hard to come by. Yeah. A Las Vegas adult actress has been found guilty of murder after she decapitated her ex-husband while secretly married to his son. Wow. How about that? It's almost like a plot from one of them. Well, except for the decapitation part. Yeah, I imagine they would find her guilty of the murder after she decapitated him and not before. Yeah. Devin Michaels, 47. There she is. Was convicted of murder. Here she is in a selfie. Yeah. Well. Is this the victim? Yeah. Yeah. That's him. In happier times with his wife. Well, anyway, his headless, chemically doused body was discovered at his Henderson home on August 6, 2023. Willits. Oh, yeah, his name is... Well, why didn't they say that in there? Man, this is terrible. His name is... Well, it just says Willett. Come on, he's the victim. You got to say... Or maybe it said it up here. Let me... Oh, this is embarrassing. I'm supposed to be a Jonathan Willett, 46. All right. Sorry, Jonathan. May you rest in peace. Willett's horrified mother. Oh, my God. His own mother had to find him. Found him wrapped in blankets and bloody, according to an arrest report. His head has never been found. Man. What the hell? Prosecutors said Michaels was jealous after Willett obtained sole custody of their two children, even as he was reportedly preparing to move back in with her and his son. All I can say is buckle up because you're in for a wild ride, Prosecutor John Giordani told jurors as he showed graphic crime scene photos, including one of the decapitated body. Well, he wasn't, BSing, he was really, yeah. According to police interview video played in court, Michaels claimed she struck Willett with a candlestick-like object while giving him a massage in his bedroom. Accidents happen during a massage, He didn't say anything. He stopped moving, she told detectives, probably due to the blunt force, Investigators said Michaels admitted cutting off her husband's head, placing it in a laundry basket, driving it home, and dumping it in a neighborhood trash can. Henderson Police Detective Dennis Ozawa testified that during her interview, a garbage truck beeped outside, prompting Michaels to say Willett went bye-bye. Gee. Man. Michaels was in a twisted relationship triangle at the time. She had married Willett in 2012, divorced him in 2018, then later married his adult son, DeVere Willett, 29, in what she reportedly called a marriage of convenience. Oh, okay. DeVere told the jury he had no role in his father's killing after defense attorneys tried to cast suspicion on him. Prosecutor Brittany Griffith said Michaels wanted Willett out of the picture. She added, and the truth is, the walls were closing in on Devin Michaels and the fantasy that she had put together. Well, it's not much of a fantasy, as she probably did bang her stepson, Anyway, no weapon or dismemberment tools were ever recovered. Yeah, you think the son was an accomplice and got rid of a lot of this stuff? I don't know. Michael's lawyers argued she couldn't have decapitated a man of Willett's size and noted there were no witnesses or audio of the killing. Her trial came after a dramatic reversal. Last year, Michaels pled guilty to second-degree murder in a deal that would have made her eligible for parole after 15 years. Okay. All right. That's her belly button, But at sentencing this summer, she apologized, then suddenly claimed she was innocent, blowing up the agreement and sending the case to trial. She had previously told detectives she only intended to injure Willett, reportedly saying she only wanted to hurt him enough that he would have to go to the hospital because she wanted him out of the way so she could figure out what she could do with her children. Huh. In court last year, she insisted, I know right now no one in the family feels that I am innocent at any point, and I understand that. But I can actually prove my innocence. I actually can. And I am not going to stop fighting to prove my innocence. Well, Michaels will be sentenced on January 8th and faces life in prison, with or without parole. Prosecutors are not seeking the death penalty. Why not? It's pretty brutal killing, she looks upset at the results. Yeah. Well, there you go. She said she would prove her innocence. It really doesn't sound like she did, So my guess is they went with the first story of, you wanted to kill him. You were banging his son. They said secretly, so I'm guessing the father never knew this was going on. So she wanted him out of the way so that she and Boy Toy could have the kids together. A marriage of convenience. What's the convenience? A younger man came along and you decided you wanted that instead. It happens, And then next thing you know, off with his head, literally. He says, well, that'll get him out of the way. And then he lost his head and then you lost it. But it is suspicious. Could the son, that's, his own son. He's already banging his wife, but you've been in on this don't worry. I'll get rid of the head and the hatchet or saw you used on it. Holy crap. Can anything be more disgusting? Well, yeah, there's other stuff that's disgusting, but man, that one really takes the cake, Anyway. Well, we got another upset girlfriend, so, those are always cool. They're not cool, but I'm some reason lacking in vocabulary on it, but hey, I'll figure it out somehow, some way, and then we'll get to this sad circumstances of love gone wrong. Yeah. Tonight on Nailsin News, enraged girlfriend chucked knife at man's head over $5 mobile payment to female friend. Friend, huh? Yeah. A little ruckus at the old trailer park, looks like. Anyway, a Florida woman who allegedly threw a knife at her boyfriend's head reportedly became upset after seeing he sent a $5 payment to another woman on an app. Jeez. Cheap broad, $5. But anyway, Daniel Banks, 34, remains in jail on $75,000 bond after police charged her with aggravated battery and resisting arrest. Yeah, look, it's all right. You tried to stab your boyfriend, and now you're going to give the cop. But, that's the way it goes, Well, anyway, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office said that Banks was going through her boyfriend's phone, of course, when she noticed that he used a mobile app to make a $5 payment to a quote-unquote female friend. A certain kind of buddy, Police said Banks became upset at the transaction and confronted her boyfriend about it. According to the arrest report, Banks' anger escalated and she called her boyfriend derogatory names. Oh my God. She then allegedly further escalated to violence when she struck him multiple times in the mouth while grabbing his shirt, which police saw was torn and stained with blood. Police said she allegedly retrieved a knife from the kitchen and threw it overhand at her boyfriend's head, cutting him in the face. Wow. Man. That's like in the movies and stuff. They throw a dagger. Banks then reportedly ran out of the home they shared in Marathon and took off in her car. Her boyfriend called 911, reporting that Banks had stabbed him in the face and then left the scene. What'd you do that for? Maybe he went to the hospital. I don't know. A nearby U.S. Border Patrol agent started following her in an unmarked car until she stopped at an apartment a couple of blocks away. By that time, according to the report, sheriff deputies were on the scene and spotted Banks. When Banks saw that deputies were on her tail, she attempted to hide by ducking down inside the vehicle. Banks, that didn't work, was detained while she was being questioned by police. She claimed that she threw a plate into the sink and a shard from the broken plate must have been what cut her boyfriend. She soon invoked her right to remain silent. Well, a little late after you gave that BS story. Anyway, according to the arrest report, Banks' boyfriend declined to provide a written statement and did not want deputies to enter the home to get the knife because the property did not belong to him. Was there drugs in there or something? What is it? He was treated at the scene by first responders. Police said that he contacted his brother to pick him up, and he packed up his belongings and left. Well, I guess it's over. It looks like they're going to have to break up, Well, Banks was charged with aggravated battery and resisting arrest with violence, a misdemeanor. She was booked into the Monroe County Jail where her bond was listed at $75,000. So he gave up that, all for a $5 biatch, How could you do this to Danielle? How could you? I don't know. What's her story gonna be? Well, of course, as with all cases, suspects are to be considered innocent until proven guilty. So, maybe she did smash a plate, and he's like, now's my chance to say she threw a knife at me. Maybe. I don't know. And then he's like, are you kidding? She never does the dishes. So then that fell apart. Yeah. Oh, well, that's too bad, isn't it? You want to believe love, and all things. And then something like this happens. It's downright depressing. But, well, what the hell are you going to do, I don't know. All I know is I'm going to read another story, our final story. So, of course, I like to pick one that we can end on a light note. And this one is light because, well, there's some violence, but it's not as bad as those other ones. There's certainly no murders, But, it's another sad, tragic tale of a couple trying to spice things up. And somehow, I don't know, it all just goes so horribly, horribly wrong. Why? Why does this happen? Well, of course, we see examples of this all the time. People think it's going to be cool to bring somebody else in. Sometimes it's called a polycule. The classic three-way. Well, for some reason it didn't work out. So threesome fizzled, then fist flew. No, it wasn't, After a planned actual threesome failed to materialize, a Florida woman became angry and pummeled her boyfriend in the face, an alleged attack witnessed by the woman who had been invited to the couple's residence for some group sex. What are the odds she becomes the new girlfriend of the guy here, Yeah. So what's the deal? He just couldn't. Well, let's see if they give us the deal. Anyway, according to investigators, Angel Lynn Curl, 47, and her boyfriend invited a female friend to their Clearwater apartment Saturday evening to engage in sexual activity. However, the coitus plan was interrupted when all parties declined participating in sexual activity. Well, all parties, that includes her, huh? And then all of a sudden, we're not doing this. Anyway, an arrest affidavit does not reveal why the tryst was aborted. He couldn't get it up. I mean, she blames him for it. I mean, she assaulted him. So, following the sex declination, Curl allegedly became angry. Yeah, she's all horned up and she's not getting any, she's pissed. And repeatedly struck the 47-year-old victim in the face as he was seated on the couple's living room couch. The female invitee, cops say, watched Curl strike the victim in the face with a closed fist multiple times. After being read her rights, Curl denied hitting the man. Curl was arrested around 1:15 a.m. for domestic battery, a misdemeanor, and she was released from custody later that day on her own recognizance. A judge has ordered Curl to have no contact with the victim. So the main thing here, they don't say that the boyfriend here, wanted to press charges or anything. They're saying that the other woman was the witness who said, yeah, she hit him in the face several times. So, is she moving in on this? Or, I mean, for whatever reason, the guy couldn't get it up. Maybe it's because he was more into the other girl. And she's like, no, you started on me first. And he's like, like that. And she, oh, no. And then it all fell apart. But that's the kind of things you risk when you bring someone else into your intimate relationship. It's supposed to be intimate. That means you can't involve other people in it. It just doesn't work that way. At least, not anymore after you've done that. It's immediately betrayal. You think it's all cool because you watch too much porn and you think it's going to be like that. And then, oh man, you start noticing he's really looking at the other girl. And that's going to piss you off. On the other hand, there's also the man here. He starts noticing his wife and or girlfriend is also really looking at the girl. And he's like, whoops, at the same time, getting really turned on and everything. It's all very sad and sure, disgusting. It's no way to build a meaningful relationship. I know you get bored. But this just isn't really a good option. So there you go. See, I told you, a lighter note. Nobody died yet. So there's that. Oh, where'd Pat go? I don't know, he's taking a couple of nights off, I guess. A. Thompson, teachers behaving badly. Yes. A. Thompson, when I moved off campus, I got Aerobed. It wasn't bad. Susan Dolan says hi to people. Hey, Thompson, if the tables were turned and it was her missing, the man would have been in jail in 1 week. This lady walked free for a decade. Yeah. Nodak, I thought the person who found his body was Laura Croft. Yeah, she raided the tomb. Hey, Thompson, no one missed this guy? Apparently not. I mean, they said the family reported him. We haven't seen him in a while. Can you look for him? And I guess that was it. Susan Dolan in prison most likely will do anything to get herself clean. There's more drugs in prison than on the street. Oh, you mean it won't do anything? Yeah. She can rot in there for all I care. No, it's stories like this that are the reason I don't become wealthy. LOL. Yes. Hey, some hooker's going to drug me and kill me while robbing me. Susan Dolan, fentanyl is a muscle relaxer. And since your heart is a muscle, well, need I explain further? Yeah, but she didn't know that. Susan Dolan, woof, is right, Doug. Does the kid wear Coke bottle glasses? Well, you know, he's a virgin and all that. First time he ever got to touch it. Nodak, technically, rest in pieces. Yeah, I'm afraid so, yeah. Susan Dolan, banks is the reason men avoid women like the plague. That and Me Tours. Yeah, me too. You know, that just made everything so much better, didn't it? Because, you know, I guess it was supposed to be justice or some bullshit. It ended up just being people jockeying for position and whatnot, you know? It's usually what it is. Does anyone really care about those put upon and, you know, wronged or some such? I don't know. But there we go. There we go. Crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news, crazy bitch news. Yeah, I'd forgotten that had a previous one or another, you know, Suno AI song and thought, hey, I could use that. And from the collection of stories, it was mostly these broads. So I decided to say, all right, I could do an hour on that. There's a couple other stories, but I was able to do these Photoshops, you know. Oh, wait. Oof. Boy, the meth really does take its toll, doesn't it? So I whip those up, and there you go. See, it makes a nice little, I don't know, visual. Plus, it covers up the stupid ads and crap on the side of the article. It kind of works, you know? Kind of. Yeah. Then there was this one. Boy, she had this picture of herself that was heavily filtered and took some pounds off and stuff. Yeah, I think she was lying to us. But, made a mistake on her foot there. Yeah, you see that? Yeah, but on the white background of the news article. Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter is all. And there's good Lord, look at that. There's a whole line from the image of this prisoner suit that I put the school teacher in. Geez, she's a weird looking woman. I don't know. Plus, you know, I kind of looking at it. Maybe it's the lighting or something. I don't know, but it looked like her hairline was receding, you know? Maybe. Of course, you know, stress and everything. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, this is one of those costume shop images. And I tried to get rid of all the background, which was mostly white. And then one little sliver remained. Not that it matters, of course, because most of the articles are white, so you don't really notice it or see it and stuff. So, but now you do, as I brought the idiot into my studio. What was I thinking? I guess I wasn't. And then the porn star, Professor Anne Marianne, here on Nailsin News. Anyway, there she is. You know, I guess I gave her the more sleekier costume because, you know, she was a sex worker in her younger days, I guess. I don't know. She wanted the stepson. Boy, that really is like a porno, you know. She's chasing the stepson and all that. Well, just don't tell your father. Don't worry, I won't. But they never end with him getting his head chopped off and then lost. Geez, what a mess. But she did claim she could prove her innocence. You know, you're not required by law to prove your innocence. The burden of proof is upon the accuser, which would be the prosecutor, you know. And so he's got to like, this proves you did it. Because when we first arrested you, you said you did it. You know, so, you know, he had a pretty good thing there. And just, no, I was, cray or some shit. And now I can prove I'm innocent. Okay, do it. Well, I don't have to. I don't know. How was she going? I don't know. Anyway, they convicted her, and that's that. And she's got a place to stay, though. I guess it kind of worked out in that matter. I don't know. But she just wanted the stepson, you know. Weird. They're all so weird. Then there's Danielle, over $5. Yeah. But I wonder, they didn't really go into too much detail. So, a female friend. Was it an old girlfriend? Was it someone that she noticed him looking at her? Yeah, stuff like that from time to time. Oh, they happen to run into each other at the grocery store or some crap. And he's like, hi. Yeah. It was only $5. I mean, what could it be? Or did he send the $5? Thanks for the services. Wink, wink. I don't know. $5. So then she throws a knife at his face. Yeah. It sounds like he's done with her. He moved out, hauled ass away, you know. Well, anyhow, that's how that ended. And no one went for the broken dishes story. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Then there's this one, you know, finally, the girl who wanted to be sexually adventurous, you know. So I put her in the sexy jumpsuit. You really don't get to wear these in prison, but, you know, it's fun to do. Anywho, there she was, and it didn't work out. And she became very angry. She wanted that three-way, damn it. I wonder if she was like, hey, we're going to tape this for OnlyFans. But it wasn't mentioned or anything. And this is my career, damn it. And, you know, boyfriend just couldn't get it up, I guess. I don't know. Or, you know, he's, again, looking at the other girl. And like, wow. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, look, she's the new girl. You know, he's been around the block with this one. So it's always got to be some, you know, a little uptick in the excitement, perhaps. Or no uptick in the excitement because, hey, I go first. And it's like, well, honey, come on. Maybe our guest can warm me up, huh? And so the whole thing's called off. And then he's like, oh, well, sits on the couch. And then she starts beating the crap out of him. And the guest thought, wow, that doesn't seem very nice. So she decided to snitch. So I think this relationship's over. The three-way is never going to happen because she's never going to trust either one of them again, especially the snitch bitch. You know, this is going to be a tough one for her to recover from because they're making her out to be the villain. Well, all right, she hit the guy over and over. So I guess she is. But I wonder whose idea it was. Was it his? It usually is, but then she's upset that it didn't happen. So maybe it was her idea. And then he let her down again by not rising to the occasion. Possibly. we'll probably never know, and it's not like we need to. But speculation, you know. Can't help it. You're going to do it. Just like I just did, you know. All right, one more time. I will check super tip. And nothing. Oh, well. These things happen. What are you going to do? Just going to be a total, complete failure like I am. You know? Anyway, there we are. A whole hour of Nailsin News. Got that in the hopper. What'll I do next? I don't know. I'll think of something. Probably do a drawing stream sometime later in the night. That's usually how it goes. That'll be something. Before I drift off into unconsciousness, I'll try to put together some videos. I watched that Shining sequel, Dr. Sleep. So I could put that out there as the review, you know. Oh, yeah, there's a couple little items I taped a week ago. So put those out, too. Yeah, all right, I could do that. Anyway, there you go. Mike Panzer says, hi, Doug. Hi, Mike. Wes Cagle says, hail. Hail, Wes Cagle. Now, goodbye, Wes Cagle. Goodbye, Mike. The show is over. That's just the way it goes. I got to go do stuff, you know. Plus, like I said, I'm going to put together those. Well, they're already put together. You get the deal. There'll be a video posted somewhere. Well, on my channel at some point. So, damn it, I'm all messed up. I can never end this the right way. You're supposed to. And that's the news. Tune in next time for more news. Nah, it doesn't work. I mean, I'll see you tomorrow night. Now, that doesn't really work either because it's no guarantee that I will. Plus, I just went through a lot of stories. So I probably won't have enough to do another one. And I won't be able to until probably next week for another one. Good Lord. Well, I apologize. That's all I can do. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Well, see you later, too, Wes Cagle. All right, there we go. See, when the song plays, then it really does mean the end. No, seriously.
Killers, killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. News. Where all the money go? Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street? While killers be killing and killing and killing and killing. Nailsin News. Ain't nobody gonna know. Do you trust your meat to take a walk down the street while killers be killing and killing and killing and killing? Nailsin News. News.
Please wrap up.
Look at me!
Okay, we're all done here.
Fucking
Hey,
pathetic!
no, we're all done. Come on.